Hello and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is May 27th, 2016. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. So welcome. As we know, FiberCast is just all about what we can get done in the next 60 minutes. It's amazing what we can accomplish. So welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Tonight, I thought to get into the spirit, although I'm already in the spirit of Memorial Day, I would do something here in the United States that's patriotic, and I would make a flag wall hanging. And it just so happens that my sister gave me this pattern. So everyone knows this is a Quiltsmart pattern, printed interfacing, and it's called Old Glory Waves. And I have picked out my fabrics. It's going to be scrappy. Literally, instead of white, I'm going to use this fabric that has the music on it. Looks like sheet music. And then I'm going to use black for the binding. Then I'm going to do scrappy reds from my stash up in the attic. I had to go up in the attic, and it was hot today, but I picked that out, and scrappy blues. And now I literally, before we came on, I have been able to cut out the pieces that I need. So I'm going to put all of this aside for now, except for the backing and the binding. We're not going to get to that in the next 60 minutes. So let me put that there and then show you what I have pulled out. As always, this is all about all of us working together. So grab a project or a glass of wine and a magazine, and come enjoy and send pictures to lmarquidant@gmail.com. That's my first letter of my name, L, and then marquidant@gmail.com. So I mentioned that this was interfacing. It's an interfacing pattern, and it literally has been printed on this fusible interfacing, no less. So there's glue on one side. And it literally has, and we're going to go through it, and I think we can put this pretty much the top together in this hour, I think. Basically, I'm going to make the star first, and then we'll work on the rest of it. So basically, we're making the star in 4 pieces, and I started the first piece to make sure I understood the directions, and I think I do. So first, I'm just going to cut up, the pattern says, cut up the interfacing. And I should move all of this other stuff away so you don't have to see that for right now. Okay, here we go. We might as well use this opportunity. As you can see, I'm still down here in the dining room. Bob continues to do work up there in the studio. I should post some pictures of what he's doing. It's amazing. In fact, he's even putting some sockets, some electrical sockets in the floor, so we can have our table and we can plug in a few things into the floor rather than having cords. It's a start. We don't need a lot, I guess. It's actually, there are two two-pronged, two sockets, so 4 sockets in the floor. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside, and now literally, this is going to make 1/4 of the star. And if KB's out there, hi, she made this, and she told me to read the directions, which I did. And so that really helped me prepare. Basically, I'm halfway there. What it said to do was to cut, so I cut out my fabrics, and I'm doing, again, this background, and I cut out 16 2.5 by 6 inch strips. And then I'm doing it scrappy, so I'm doing the blue, that blue, and then 3 others, and this was 2.5 by 7. And so now I have ironed it onto one of these pieces. Again, I started it before we came on, so I knew how to do it. And now I need to literally fold it over and sew down the long strips. And I'll show you exactly how we did the whole thing on the next one. And the backing is all printed, so it's easy to do. Okay. I have my Aurifil in my trusty Kenmore. Someone, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, wrote and asked me where my Bernina is. Wanted to make sure I still had her, and I do. And I almost brought her down, but I figured this was all set up and it had the Aurifil thread. She's upstairs, packed away, on the stairs heading up to the attic. I have to tell you, when Bob moved all of my fabric up to the attic, he left it in the little bins. I don't have a lot of fabric. Famous last words. I have way more fabric than I need, but I really, by quilter standards, I don't think I have too much fabric. Aside from the wool, I do have a lot of bolts of wool. Anyway, my scrap cotton fabric is in little 4.5-inch by 12-inch shoebox plastics. You've seen them. I use them for a lot of things. So Bob put them up in the attic on the shelves. So I thought, you know, I could leave this fabric up here and use it as my storage. I could just organize it a little more. I may do that. And that way, the Simply Colorful studio itself will be cleaner. Just an idea. Or less cluttered, not so much cleaner. And I'm going to check out that Benjamin Moore Affinity paint that my sister told me about. Have other people found out about this? I went over to my niece's apartment, Alexa, who you've heard me talk about. She's the one who went to Costa Rica a few years ago. And she is living in a brand new place, or a new to her place, that has all been painted in these Benjamin Moore Affinity colors. And they all, apparently the Affinity all has the same level of gray. It's probably the same value. And so you go from room to room, and it looks great. It all goes together. So anyway, that was my long-winded way of saying I'm going to check out the Affinity paint and select a color for the studio upstairs. I'm a little gun-shy after painting the shop down at the Vineyard that blue. It was the Constellation blue from Benjamin Moore, and I do love it, but it looks so different morning, noon, and night. It's not something that's going to be able to live there forever. What is going on with the band? Can you hear that? Knocked 3 times. That's embarrassing. I don't know what they're doing down there. Anyway, okay. So here is the first part of the star. Pretty cool, huh? So again, it's this Quiltsmart pattern with the printed interfacing. And Karen said the star was pretty cool. The waves are kind of interesting. You end up sandwiching the waves, not sandwiching. You make a tube with the interfacing on the back, and then which is fusible, and then you iron it down. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works. Okay, so we have proven that we know how to do this. So now let's figure this out. You put the north and south. This is kind of cool. It's marked north and south. And the reason you want to do that is so that you have the glue on the top part. This is really cool. And now I'm going to go over here to the iron and do it so that I literally place 4 of these of my background colors. And then iron it on without getting my iron too gummed up, right? And then I'm going to do these stars. All of the blues, I tried to pick them that had stars in it. And then I lay that down here, and I bring it over, and I flip it over. And I sew line 1, but I'm going to pin it. Ding. Okay. So there's one line. And then literally you peel this back and you cut it. This would be perfect to have an overhead camera, wouldn't it? We're going to try to install one of those in the studio so that at least we have one overhead camera. Oh, unpin it. Okay. And now I iron that down. So that's what it looks like so far. This is quite satisfying, I must admit. Because so far, famous last words, right? We'll see if all 4 of them fit nicely together. Okay, here's number 2. So I know we jumped right into the project, but that's what FiberCast is all about. There's so much to talk about also that's happening in the world and in our lives, and definitely let me know what you're doing. But this flag project will take the good hour plus to finish, and I definitely wanted to show you. I wanted to get right down to it so that we can make some good progress. And once again, it feels so good to be back at the machine. I have been to Atlanta this week, came back yesterday. It was a good trip. I was in Midtown Atlanta, which is between lower Atlanta and upper Atlanta. I don't even know if they call it that. But I discovered a delicious breakfast at the Flying Biscuit. Yum! They served biscuits with this cranberry apple butter. And the biscuits were fluffy and yummy and delicious. I tell you, Carol, if you're out there, quilting doesn't get easier than this. This is literally interfacing that has been drawn on, and now I'm sewing it to make the pattern. Does not get easier. Okay. So there's number 2. Also just going to, it literally on the back of this interfacing shows you where to cut. Very cool. So I've not yet finished my crocheted pot holder. I have it in my bag, and I just have to put the loop on it and then throw it in the washing machine, which I'll do this weekend. I'm so excited for 3 days off. Look at that. It's the start of our star, okay? So I'm just going to keep going, making sure I have north and south here. After I get the star pieces done, I'll check and see who's out there. If Chris is out there, you have a good shot at winning the pool for having your name said the most. Because I understand Jean is not online tonight. She is out to eat. Speaking of Jean and Chris, did everyone see the Missouri Star Company's video that Brigham Young University did? If you haven't seen it, go search for it. It's on BYU TV. And again, Jenny Doan and her family are profiled in a 25-minute nice show about their business and about how quilting is more than just sewing. It's a movement, and they're helping us all connect. And then at the end, and it's a wonderful business story. Her son and daughter really took them from having one quilting machine in retirement. And we've talked about this from the retreat. But it was nice to see pictures of them and hear them talking and see the background and see the Missouri Star factory. And then, ooh, ding. And Brigham Young was there filming when we were there for the retreat. And so we're in the video. And there are some great pictures of KB. Awesome pictures and of Jean. And then there's a great one of Jean and Deb and Kelsey and Jenny that's just perfect. They're all smiling. They look so happy. So I think it was Sue Norton. Hi, Sue, if you're out there. I think she said, congratulations on your 15 minutes of fame, and that's what it felt like. So anyway, that's a feel-good video. And they're only in their 7th year. I guess I didn't realize Missouri Star was that young. I mean, when you think about it, and I've said this before, the Apple iPhone has only been out for 10 years, folks. That's going to be pretty. Okay. No, it's overlapping a little bit. Just going to cut a little bit away. This is going to slow us down. Shoot. Oh, who's out there? All right. It's just a little bit too much overlap so that when I fold it, to be able to fold it right on the right line. Okay, that should work. Oh, it's getting hot here in the Northeast. And very humid. Okay, 2 more of these. Okay. Did you see the quilt that my sister made? She and I, so actually I should back up and tell everyone where I've been. Last time I saw you, if you watched the bonus quilting last Saturday, I was in Pennsylvania. if you only caught me last Friday night on FiberCast, you'll remember I was in my hotel room in New Jersey. Well, after that Friday, I slept there, and then last Saturday I drove out to see my sister in Pennsylvania. And don't you know, I pulled up, and I was wearing my blue Simply Colorful t-shirt, and don't you know, she comes out, bounding out of her house, and she was wearing her Simply Colorful t-shirt. So, and she'd had her internet upgraded, so we couldn't not try a FiberCast. In fact, so we did, and you can see that we were in her new studio. This isn't quite lining up. That'll be interesting. And I tell you, we need to get her doing some hangouts herself. Anyway, we had a great time, and we started a quilt, the fabric for which she bought at Missouri Star. And don't you know, not only did she do, when I left, so I left her on Sunday, last Sunday, and I drove home here, and then I flew to Atlanta on Monday. And she has since done all sorts of gardening, and she finished the quilt top. I couldn't believe it, and it looks great. So that was really fun to do. And another great example, I thought, KB, of how the fabric does the work. It's not like those pieces were that small. I think the squares were, what, 5.5? So again, Carol, if you're out there, or any new quilters, you might really like this pattern, or even experienced quilters. Again, it's by Quiltsmart, and to make this star, I'm not having to worry about measuring for any triangles. And I guess there is some fabric waste. See, so I've literally layered that. I flip it over, and it literally says, okay, so on line 1, from dot to dot, and what a smart pattern designer, because if you look at this backing, I don't know if you can see that, you would never know that this would make a star point, because everything has to be offset for the seams. Okay. One. To this one. Flip it over. Then I promise I'll get to the dings. Mom, if you're out there, have a good quilt sale tomorrow. I know you've been growing plants like all winter for it. It sounds like you're going to have good weather. Okay. Whew, it's hot. Okay, so. Can you hear the band? That's better than the yelling they were doing earlier. I double stitched here. It's hot under these bright lights. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, we're getting there. That. It probably should have a silicone pad here. Getting my iron a little gummed up, but oh well. Two more seams and I'll check to see who's out there. There we go. One more seam and I'll check who's out there. There we go. Okay. So we just need to iron it. There we go. All right, star point number 4. Ooh, that's going to be pretty. All right, who's out there? Before I go do any more. Hey, hi Chris. Happy Friday. Are you around this weekend? I'll call you. I'm around until I think Monday. Okay, let's see. Okay, all teams cards. Says hello, thank you for the episode of Turning Point. Oh, that's the name of the episode I was talking about with Brigham Young and the Missouri Quilt Company. Eileen Arun says, here's a picture of the rug I'm hooking while I listen tonight. Ooh, way to go. I'm opening it up right now. Oh, isn't that fun? Oh, it's very whimsical. I love it. Oh, I'm going to have to retweet this so that people can see it on... How do I do this? Oh, you guys, so it's lots of children at the beach. It's very hard to see, I know. I'll forward that to Simply Colorful and show people that. Oh, I love it. It's your own design. Eileen, thanks for sharing. That is great. Oh, I love that. Oh, install later. They need to install some new software here. Ooh, that was Chris. Good, good, good. Oh, Ben! That ding was from Ben Cabot. I said the last name. I shouldn't have done that. Watching from New Jersey with Ray, Amy, Grandma, and Grandpa. Hello. And congratulations on your graduate. Is tomorrow the big day? Where's Audie? Well, wonderful. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Wendy. Oh, I love what you've done here. Look at that. Very nice pinwheel quilt. Is that from a cake? I like that a lot. It looks like it is a layer cake. Huh. And here's Wendy's comment. She says, ding! Hello, Lynn and everyone. Crystal and my granddaughter Charlotte are watching live. Well, hello, Charlotte. Are you sewing? She says, what a treat for us. We're enjoying what you are doing. We've had an exciting week here. My youngest daughter, Tiffany, got engaged, so that was very exciting. And Crystal and I made her this quilt for birthday this week as well. Wow. She said, my boys have gone away golfing for the weekend, and I am having my very first weekend ever alone. Ooh, that's sewing time. That's how I translate that. She says, I loved watching you and Karen sewing together last weekend. We do have fun. Anyway, I will stop typing and watch. The star looks like fun. Happy sewing, Lynn, and have a great weekend, Wendy. Thanks, Wendy. You too. And that was the quilt picture that you just sent. Wow, that's very well done. Hi, Marquet. Marquet says, hello, everyone. I'm sewing with you tonight on my mother's Janome Memory Craft 2400 because she has a walking foot and a free motion foot. I'm quilting on a little flannel lap quilt for my mother to take to church with her. They keep it so cold in there. She was complaining of her shoulders hurting, and hopefully this will help. That's a great idea, especially in the winter months as they come. Just a little quilt or a shawl, something crocheted. Ooh! So Marquet says, I got a very nice surprise in the mail today from my cousin Karen. A yard or more of fabric, 2 quilting books, and 8 spools of essential thread from Connected Threads. Wow, Marquet says I was shocked but very happy. I should say so. Sometimes aren't surprises the best? I want to try and remember to do that when it's not anyone's birthday. In fact, what does Adam Carolla say? I think he doesn't celebrate his birthdays anymore. He celebrates an accomplishment day, which would fit with our 60 minutes. It's amazing what we can get done here on FiberCast in 60 minutes. Oh, I'm so glad. So you have a cousin Karen, while I have a sister Karen. Anyway, Marquet goes on to say, here's a picture of my Wild Dutchman's puzzle blocks for May for our swap, and for June we're doing the weather vane block. Here's a photo of 2 blocks that my friend Marinius has already made. I'll be starting on mine after I get the lap quilt done. Marquet says, I hope everyone has a great, happy, and safe Memorial Day weekend. Happy stitching, Marquet. Oh, those are great. So here are 6 Dutchman's puzzle blocks. And Marquet is doing a swap. Oh, and this was your bounty, your pictures. Oh, and then more. Love it. Thanks, Marquet. Oh, I keep pushing down my star pieces. You know what? It's time to, that's a sign. It's time to sew our star together. So literally, and now we're going to web it. Remember our webbing technique? So line up your 4 stars, 4 blocks. Start at the top. Ooh, we can jam to the band. Here we go. So Ray and Sue. Did I just do that? Did I really just do that, Amy? I'm really sorry. Ray and Amy, when are you coming to the vineyard? I'm hoping Bob and I get down there on Monday, but he has a showing to do, so we may not get down there until Tuesday. And then we're there until, not even your birthday, to the 9th, we have to come back. Then I have to go to Austin for the week of the 13th. And then I have to go to Sacramento, but then we're going to come back down to the vineyard for July 4th. So anyway, I hope we get to catch up. And then August, my dream is that I'll be there several weeks in a row. And you know what? I stopped webbing because I got myself all verklempt. Okay. Sometimes it's difficult to sew and talk. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I will put these two together. And okay. This could be a wonky star. We can always say that's how we meant it to be. Ta-da! Isn't that fun? So there are stars on some of the fabric. This is a hand-dyed fabric, and I love the way that moves. Looks like a meteor going across it. Okay, so let's iron this and then put it aside. So hopefully, there we go. Well, let me do the front. Okay, so put that aside. That right there. Now what we have to do is we have to go back here to the interfacing. Remember the interfacing had glue on it on one side? And it's a wavy flag. So now literally, and I'm only going to do one of these because my sister told me ahead of time that they are pretty tricky. And I'll show you why. We literally have to treat this really flimsy interfacing with glue on it like a piece of fabric. And we're going to sew it right sides together to a strip of red fabric. And then we have to turn it. And I think it might be difficult to turn this very flimsy piece of interfacing. At least that's what Karen was saying. Oh, we had fun. We watched was it the Preakness? We had fun last Saturday night. Okay. And that's where she told me about this. Okay, so here's one of my strips. Literally, here's the right side. And now I'm going to put the sticky side down. Let me make sure this is when in doubt, read the instructions. Yep, pin the interfacing down, rough wave side to the right side of the fabric. And the rough wave side is the one that has the glue. Reed and Violet, I need you here to help me. Are we going to do a little summer sewing? That would be really fun with all the cousins. We could either each make our own quilt. I have plenty of fabric, and I'm sure you could raid, Grandma and Grandpa's clothing. What are those called? Dressers. Aunt Judy might have a piece of clothing or two. Because that's what quilts used to be made of, right? Old clothes. Okay, so we need to iron. fact, down at G's Bend, Sears had a corduroy factory years ago, and they would get the leftover pieces of the corduroy jeans that were being made, and they would make these amazing quilts. And G's Bend is an area that is pretty remote, and there wasn't a lot of cross-population, so all they had were these colors of Levi corduroy. And so they have a body of work. There's a book on it. There's been a PBS special. And it all looks like it fits together because the source of their fabric came from the same factory. And it's amazing what they did with it. Really amazing. In fact, their quilts were traveling to different museums. I saw them here in Boston, the Museum of Fine Arts, and they were just very modern, and for a relatively secluded group of people, it's pretty amazing what they were able to accomplish, to make. Anyway, look up the quilters of G's Bend, G-E-E, apostrophe S. I'll do one of these stripes, and then I'll see who else is out there. Oh, our Red Sox here in the Northeast. We're having some exciting games. We had a new player that was about to have a number of consecutive hits to rival some of the best. Bob was all into last night's game. He was disappointed. The streak got broken. Had a little power surge there. There we go. Now this is good podcast, right? Almost done. Okay, so now we have to trim it up and then turn it. Okay. So here's what it looks like. This is a flag that has wavy stripes. Oh, we should talk a bit about Memorial Day and the good fortune we have of being able to pursue a happy and fruitful life, and our freedom of expression, freedom of having different beliefs, and when I was down in Atlanta earlier this week, and I forgot his name, but no, I didn't. Captain Flowent Groberg told an amazing story. He was in a battle fight in Afghanistan. He was actually, his job was to protect his boss, one of the generals, I guess, and he had a crew of, there were 6 of them, and there was a suicide bomber, and he actually jumped on the suicide bomber and lived. 4 of the folks, oh, this is a pain, 4 of the folks died, and now he's dedicated the rest of his life to honoring their sacrifice. And he just talked about having courage in the face of adversity, and how It wasn't easy. He's trying. It was kind of interesting, you know. He said that he has to. So let me back up. So Flowent Groberg, and he received a Medal of Honor from President Obama somewhat recently in the White House. And his story was kind of interesting. Oh, this is ripping. KB, you're right, this is a pain. Did everyone see that? Yep, I'm not going to do it this way. Well, we'll finish this one and then we'll figure something out. Anyway, he was born in Paris. He ultimately, to a single mother, then she met his father, Groberg. They moved to the States when he was in high school. He ended up being quite an athlete, went to the University of Maryland on a scholarship. Within a couple of weeks of starting school, 9/11 happened, and he called his father. So here he is, 3 weeks in as a freshman in college, called his father and said, Dad, I'm enlisting. I'm going to go fight for our freedom. How can this happen to us? And he had some other personal stories that made him believe in the cause even more. I think his mother's brother had been killed in another suicide bombing action somewhere else. So anyway, his father said, no, you'll finish school and then you can do that. So he did, finished 4 years of college, and then he enlisted. He went over there twice, and as I say, the second time he dived on a suicide bomber and ended up living 33 or 32 surgeries later. He was at Walter Reed. Anyway, how did I get on that? Oh, maybe my wavy flag. We're talking about Memorial Day. As soon as I finish this, I will see who's out there. Hi to our folks in Australia and the UK. Oh, who's that? Hey, that's KB. Hi, KB. She says, hi, everyone. Thanks for keeping me company tonight. She says, I love the weekend so. Yes. Especially the 3-dayers. I can't wait to go food shopping tomorrow. The house is bare. And I'm going to get barbecue food. And like I say, we'll be here through Monday. And then hopefully we'll go see Mom. If not Monday, it'll be Tuesday. Hey, KB, you're quite a star. I like the pictures of you on the Missouri Quilt video. You'd think my doll making would help me have patience with this. Okay, so that was a disaster. But we're going to make it work after I see who's out there. Actually, first, one more thing. Let's lay this out. I cut out the backgrounds. Okay, so if we put that over there, that'll go like that. This will go like this. Definitely going to have to work on this over the weekend and show it to you online. And there we go. Ooh, there's a lot of excess. I guess I'll do them all and then I'll lay them out. Okay. Anywho, who's out there? Saturday. Oh, Lorna. Hi, Lorna. Lorna says, Happy Memorial Day weekend to all the FiberCasters. She says, love the pattern you're doing. I may have missed you saying whose pattern and where we can purchase it from. It would be perfect for my 4th of July party. Have a great and safe weekend, everyone, from Lorna. Well, so just so that you have it, it's called Quiltsmart, and it is called Old Glory Waves by Maddie Rhodes, and I will find a link for where you can order it, and I'll put it on the Facebook page. I do like it. I'm going to do this, see the bottom edge? I don't know if you can see this, but the bottom edge is wavy. I liked that. Ooh, and your 4th of July party sounds good too. What's your favorite barbecue food? Ding! Ooh, Maureen in Pennsylvania. She says, great video, you guys. More. And then it says, Maureen, Maureen, Maureen. And she says, do I have a chance against Jean? LOL. Maureen in Pennsylvania. Well, Maureen, I am glad you brought that up. Do you have a shortened, a nickname for your name? More? Maureen? Or you just go by Maureen? Yeah, I would think so. Well, we'll let Chris know that you are in the running tonight. That's funny. Norma, hi! Norma says, I just got home a few minutes ago. Thank goodness I haven't missed much of tonight's show. Aww. I will go back and watch what I missed later tonight. She said, I love the picture you posted the other day. Such a beautiful smile and a beautiful lady inside and out. Aw. Hope everyone has a nice weekend. You too, Norma. And I love your back porch. It's a tree. It does look like a tree house. So keep building it. And is that a stream I see behind it? That looks lovely. Hi, Sue. You are watching live. Just wanted to catch you up on what I've been working on. Of course, it's Dear Jane. Of course it is. You're going to have this Dear Jane done before the rest of us can even spell it. D10 is in progress. I just have the middle of the block pieced. I also have a Go Baby for Mother's Day. Oh, you've got a Go Baby. Ooh. Everyone know what that is? An AccuQuilt Go Baby. So she can cut her pieces through with a die and a roller. Well, happy Mother's Day to you. She says, I'm working on scrappy hexes made from circles. Let me know what you think. Hexes from circles is pretty easy, and you do not need to use a paper hexie. Oh, let me know if you would like these instructions. Oh, isn't that interesting? Definitely. So let me show this to people. So Sue has created a random set of fabric that she's sewn together, and then going through her Baby Go, she's cut a round circle, and probably the way that you're folding it, you've created the 6-sided hexie, I would have to guess. Definitely send that, or post that information. That's very interesting. And then your Dear Jane block, ooh, I love that. D10. We're going to have to do a Dear Jane soon. I like that. Nice. What did we do before the phones? Do you know, more than once I have found myself, I don't know where it's been. Oh, I think in magazines. I'll be flipping through a magazine on the plane, right? Sky Mall or whatever I can find. I'm flipping through it, and I will say, Chris, this just in from Chris. She says, Maureen, seriously? Oh, ooh. For everyone else who might wonder what's going on, rumor has it that there are games whereby people count how many times I say their name. And he or she whose name I say the most wins the game. Jean, oops, there I said her name again, is out to dinner tonight, so Chris was sure to win. But now Maureen in Pennsylvania has come on in. We're going to need an app, ultimately, to count the names. That's what I'm thinking. Anywho, what was I talking about before that? Completely forgot my train of thought. You made me laugh, Chris. Okay, I'll just go on to the next thing. It'll come to me. Beth Allen, hi, down in South Carolina. She says, I live in a hole, never seen those quilt patterns. You're funny, you don't live in a hole. Too cool, I hear it's all right now coming from the basement. Rock on, y'all, says Beth. Yep, now can you hear them yelling? They definitely sound like it's a 3-day weekend, I have to tell you. They're letting loose. That's good. And Beth Allen goes on to say, Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hope you all are doing well. She says, I'm still making my half-square triangles, maybe only 64 to go. Oh, and she says, I love the idea of a grab bag quilt-along. I'm game. Excellent. Excellent. We're going to hear more about that soon. We've done some more research. We're just doing a little more research and a little more online planning, and then we'll get to you about a Simply Colorful grab bag mystery. Oh, I love your squares. Look at that. Oh, those are fun. Do you do those all by hand? Lovely. I must admit, I haven't watched Quilt Time in a few days. I'll catch up this weekend. Okay. Ooh, Joyce. Hi, Joyce. She says, I missed you on Saturday. Would love to have seen that. When you two get together, you have so much fun. I know. I know, we do. She makes me laugh a lot. She is funny and so knowledgeable. Anyway, that video from Saturday should be on the Simply Colorful channel on YouTube. She says, Joyce continues, I haven't done much this week. I found out I have to replace my drain field. Ooh. So we're not using much water and not much cooking, so I don't have to wash dishes. Ugh. And I'm waiting for the cost. Ugh, yes, we have been there. I know that it's terrible, so I haven't done much sewing, just haven't been into it. I hear you. I hear you. Are you getting multiple estimates? From what little experience I have heard through other people, the estimates can vary widely. So even though you may just want to get it done quickly, which is always what my tendency, I've heard that doing homework can pay off. But that's, sorry to hear that. Ugh. Oh, and Joyce goes on to say, in Maryland, says, I did watch the Turning Point video and loved it. That's what I was going to say. I wanted to congratulate Beth Allen for her place in the video. It was so nice to see you in your sewing pajamas. I loved that. Anyway, hope you have a great weekend, says Joyce. Thanks for FiberCast. I look forward to each Friday. Oh, I'm so glad. It's just a way for us to get together, isn't it? And I cannot believe how fast 60 minutes goes. Can you all? Ooh, Marquet. Marquet again, she says, P.S. I love the new setup. Why, thank you. It's just temporary. I'm down here in the dining room. So I'm sorry I don't have a quilt behind me, but you know, it's kind of nice here. Especially, I'm finding I can do a little more sewing and not feel so disconnected because Bob is just right around the corner at night. Not that I've done that very much in the last couple of weeks. In theory, that sounds good, and hopefully I'll do it this weekend. Oh, and Marquet says, finally we can hear the music. Wish I was there. Oh, me too. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Have some FiberCasters come here? That would be fun. Oh, and Marquet says, sorry, just one more. Well, this is perfect. This is a grand way to finish up our FiberCast. Marquet from Kentucky says, I love what you are working on. I missed the first of the introduction, but I will rewind as soon as this is over and watch the whole thing. Man, they are really jamming. I don't know how you can sew. I would rather be down there jamming with them with a big, tall mixed drink. Oh, you're so funny. Sounds like you're going to have a great Memorial Day weekend. Tell them I love the music. happy stitching Marquet. I will. And you know, the name of their band is Final Notice. So if they get famous, they're going to give their final notice to their day jobs. So they're going to want to hear what you just told them. Anywho, of course, they've had many names of band over the years. It's been Flagrants. Flagrant stuck for a long time. Final Note. Might be time for a new band name. Anywho, I think we're about done with our hour. Marquet, so you don't have to back up. This is the pattern. My sister gave it to me. It's a Quiltsmart pattern. It's called Old Glory Waves. I'm going to post a link for where you can buy it, and it's done by Maddie Rhodes. So that's that. And we are right on the top of the hour, and everyone, I want to say thank you for joining me. I will keep working on this flag. I'll post it when I get finished. Thank you to everyone who joined. Happy graduations to all of you out there. And just remember to be thankful for our liberty and our freedom and our ability to pursue happiness. So happy quilting, everyone. Bye. See you next Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.